What if the coins sitting quietly in your pocket right now were actually pieces of hidden history? Most people never look twice at old British 2p coins. They spend them, throw them into jars, or forget about them completely. But collectors know something different. Some of these small bronze coins carry stories connected to British royalty, major currency changes, rare mint errors, and a time period that millions of people still remember today. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into three classic United Kingdom 2p coins from 1980, 1981, and 1988. At first glance, they may all look the same, but each one represents a different moment in British coin history. One comes from the final years of the famous new Pence design. Another marks the end of an important era in UK currency. And one shows how British coins evolved during the late 1980s as the modern world rapidly changed. We're going to explore the history behind these coins, their designs, collector value, rare mint errors, and the details that most people completely miss. You'll also learn why some collectors spend hours searching through old coin jars, hoping to discover valuable examples hiding in ordinary pocket change.
In 1980, millions of people across the United Kingdom carried a small copper coin in their pockets without realizing that one day collectors around the world would start paying attention to it. At first glance, the 1980 British 2p coin looks ordinary. It's simple, brown, and common. But hidden behind that small piece of metal is a story connected to British royalty, changing currency designs, and the everyday life of millions of people during the 1980s. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a close look at the famous 1980 UK 2p coin, one of the most recognizable British coins ever made. If you enjoy rare coins, hidden values, mint errors, and the history behind old money, make sure you stay until the end because this coin has some surprising details that most people completely miss. The British 2p coin was first introduced in 1971 during Decimal Day. That was the moment when the United Kingdom changed its money system to a modern decimal currency. Before that change, British money worked very differently and could be confusing for many people. The government decided to simplify the system, and the 2p coin became part of that new beginning. By 1980, the coin had already become a normal part of everyday life in Britain. People used it for shopping, bus fares, vending machines, and small purchases. Children carried them to school shops. Adults found them in coat pockets and jars at home. Nobody imagined these coins would later become collectible. The front of the 1980 2p coin features Queen Elizabeth II. At the time, she had already been queen for decades and her portrait appeared on coins throughout the Commonwealth. Around the portrait, you'll notice the Latin text, DG Reg FD, that stands for Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensa, meaning, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse side of the coin, you can see one of the most famous designs in British coin history, the Prince of Wales feathers. This design includes 3 feathers coming out of a royal coronet with a ribbon underneath. Above the feathers is the wording New Pence. That wording is extremely important. From 1971 until 1981, British 2p coins used the words New Pence. In 1982, the wording changed to 2p. Because of that change, many collectors today search for older versions with the original wording. The 1980 coin was made from bronze, giving it that rich copper color collectors love. The coin weighs about 7.12 grams and has a diameter of around 25.9 millimeters. It's larger and heavier than many modern coins, which makes it feel solid in the hand. Now here's something interesting. Even though millions of these coins were produced, collectors still check every 1982 pence carefully because condition matters a lot. A heavily worn coin might only be worth face value, but a bright uncirculated example can sell for much more. Collectors look for strong details in the feathers, clean lettering, and original mint shine. If the coin still has its red copper color instead of turning dark brown, its value can increase significantly. But the biggest excitement comes from mint errors. Sometimes coins leave the mint with mistakes. These mistakes can include off-center strikes, double lettering, wrong planchets, or die cracks. Error coins are highly collectible because they are unusual and rare. Imagine checking an old jar of coins and discovering that one small 2-pence piece contains a rare minting mistake worth far more than its face value. That possibility is exactly why collectors continue searching through old British coins today. Another reason people enjoy collecting the 1982 pence coin is nostalgia. For many people in the UK, these coins bring back memories of childhood, corner stores, arcades, and old British culture from the late 20th century. Coin collecting is not always about becoming rich. Sometimes it's about history and memories. A single coin can connect people to another time period. Over the years, the Royal Mint changed many British coin designs, but the classic 2-pence remains one of the most recognizable. Even today, many collectors prefer the older bronze versions because modern coins use copper-plated steel instead. If you ever find a 1982 pence coin, check the condition carefully. Look at the lettering, check for unusual marks or mint errors, and most importantly, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and lower collector value dramatically. Many beginners think polishing an old coin will make it worth more, but professional collectors usually want original surfaces, even if the coin has natural agging. Today, most circulated 1982 pence coins are still affordable. However, high-grade examples and error varieties can attract serious attention from collectors online and at coin auctions. The amazing thing about coin collecting is that valuable discoveries sometimes happen in the most ordinary places. A forgotten coin jar, an old drawer, or loose change from a shop could contain something interesting. That's why millions of collectors continue checking old coins every single day. And honestly, that's what makes this hobby exciting. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes the smallest coins end up creating the biggest surprises. So the next time you see a British 2-pence coin from 1980, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. You might be holding a small piece of British history in the palm of your hand. What if one of the last new pence coins in British history was sitting quietly in your pocket right now? Most people would never notice it. They would spend it without a second thought. But collectors know the truth. The 1981 UK 2-pence coin represents the end of an important era in British coinage. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1981 British 2-pence coin. This coin may look simple, but it marks the final year before one of the biggest wording changes in modern UK coin history. Stay with me, because this small copper coin has become a favorite among collectors, especially those searching for older new pence designs. To understand why the 1981 coin matters, we need to go back to decimal day in 1971. Before decimalization, British money used pounds, shillings, and pence in a complicated system that had existed for generations. The government wanted something easier, so a completely new decimal currency system was introduced. That's when the 2-pence coin officially entered circulation. For the next decade, these coins carried the wording "new pence" on the reverse side. The wording helped people adjust to the new decimal system, but by the early 1980s, most people were already familiar with decimal currency, so the Royal Mint decided the word "new" was no longer necessary. That means 1981 became the last regular year for the new pence design. In 1982, the wording changed permanently to 2-pence. That single change transformed the 1981 coin into an important transition piece in British numismatic history. The front of the coin features Queen Elizabeth II wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Her portrait appears elegant and detailed, surrounded by Latin inscriptions identifying her as Queen. On the reverse side, the Prince of Wales' feathers dominate the design. This symbol has deep royal connections and remains one of the most recognizable images used on British coins. The 1981 2-pence coin was made from bronze, giving it a warm copper appearance that many collectors love. Unlike modern copper-plated steel coins, these older bronze pieces feel heavier and more solid. Now let's talk about value. Most circulated 1981 2-pence coins are common, but condition changes everything. Coins with sharp details and original mint luster can command much higher prices than worn examples. Collectors often separate bronze coins into three color categories: brown, red-brown, and full red. Full red coins usually bring the strongest prices because they retain the bright original color from the mint. And then there are the eras. Mint eras create excitement in the coin collecting world because every mistake tells a story about the minting process. Some 1981 coins may show double strikes, die cracks, off-center designs, or unusual lettering problems. Collectors spend hours searching through coin rolls and old collections, hoping to find one rare mistake hiding among ordinary coins. One of the most famous stories involving British 2-pence coins actually came after 1981. In 1983, a small number of coins were accidentally struck using the old new pence wording instead of 2-pence. Those rare errors became extremely valuable. Because of that famous error, many collectors also pay attention to the final official new pence year, which is 1981. Another reason people enjoy these coins is the connection to British culture during the early 1980s. This was a completely different era from today. There were no smartphones, no social media, and no online shopping. Coins played a major role in everyday life. Children bought candy with them. Adults used them in parking meters and payphones. Arcade machines swallowed them by the handful. These coins traveled through millions of hands across Britain. Today, they act like tiny time capsules from another generation. Coin collecting has become more popular online in recent years because people enjoy the thrill of searching for hidden treasures. Videos about rare coins now attract millions of views because viewers love discovering that ordinary change can sometimes hold surprising value. The 1981 2-pence coin fits perfectly into that excitement. It's affordable for beginners, historical for collectors, and connected to one of the most important wording changes in modern British coinage. If you own one, examine it closely under bright light. Look for strong details in the feathers and lettering. Check both sides carefully for unusual marks or striking errors. And remember, never clean the coin. Even small scratches from cleaning can reduce collector interest. At the end of the day, the 1981 2-pence coin proves something important. Coins don't need to be made from gold or silver to become collectible. Sometimes history, timing, and design changes are enough to make collectors pay attention. And that's exactly why this coin still matters today. Most people see an old coin and think it's just spare change, but collectors see history, mystery, and sometimes hidden value. The 1988 UK 2-pence coin may not look rare at first glance, but this bronze coin carries the legacy of British currency into the late 1980s, a time when the world was changing fast. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring the 1988 British 2-pence coin, a classic piece of UK currency that millions of people once used every day. We'll talk about its history, design, collector interest, mint errors, and why people still search for these coins decades later. By 1988, the British decimal currency system had already been in use for more than 15 years. The country had fully adapted to decimal money, and the 2-pence coin was a normal part of everyday British life. Unlike the earlier 1980 and 1981 versions, the 1988 coin no longer used the words new pence. Instead, it displayed the wording 2-pence, a design change introduced in 1982. That simple wording difference helps collectors quickly identify whether a coin was produced before or after the transition period. The front of the 1988 2-pence coin features Queen Elizabeth II. Her portrait had become one of the most familiar images in the world because it appeared on coins throughout the Commonwealth. The reverse side still carried the iconic Prince of Wales feathers design created by Christopher Ironside. This design remained popular for decades because it connected British coinage to royal tradition and national identity. The coin itself was still made from bronze during 1988. That's important because the Royal Mint later switched to copper-plated steel in the 1990s. Many collectors prefer the older bronze coins because they have a richer color and heavier feel. The 1988 coin weighs around 7.12 grams and measures nearly 26 millimeters across. Compared to many modern coins, it feels large and solid. Now here, where things become interesting for collectors. Even though the 1988 2-pence coin is common, certain examples can still attract attention. Coins in brilliant, uncirculated condition are always more desirable than worn pieces pulled from circulation. Collectors search for coins with strong shine, minimal marks, and crisp details in the feathers and lettering. A coin preserved carefully for decades can look almost brand new. And of course, mint errors can dramatically increase interest. During the minting process, machines sometimes produce mistakes. These errors can include clipped planchets, double strikes, die cracks, or off-center images. Error collectors love unusual coins because every mistake is different. That's one reason why people continue checking old British coins today. Most coins are ordinary, but every now and then someone discovers something unexpected. Another factor driving interest is nostalgia. The late 1980s were a unique period in British history. Music, television, fashion, and culture all looked completely different from today. Coins from that era remind people of childhood memories, old shops, and daily life before the digital age. Back then, cash ruled everything. People carried real coins everywhere. They used them for newspapers, candy, public phones, parking meters, buses, and vending machines. A simple 2-pence coin could travel through hundreds of hands in a single year. Now many of those same coins sit in collections around the world. Coin collecting itself has changed a lot over time. Years ago, collectors mainly met at coin clubs and local shows. Today, people buy and sell coins online, watch coin videos, and search through pocket change, hopping to find hidden treasures. Social media and YouTube helped create a new generation of collectors who enjoy learning about rare dates, mint errors, and valuable discoveries. The 1988 2-pence coin may not be the rarest coin in Britain, but it still represents an important chapter in modern UK currency history. For beginners, it's a great starting point because it's affordable and easy to recognize. For experienced collectors, high-grade examples and unusual mint errors remain exciting finds. If you own one of these coins, inspect it carefully. Use good lighting and check both sides for unusual details. Look for sharp lettering, strong feather designs, and original bronze color. And remember one important rule in coin collecting: never clean old coins. Cleaning can scratch the surface and destroy natural toning that collectors actually prefer. Even if a coin looks dark or aged, leaving it untouched is usually the best choice. The fascinating thing about coins is that they survive generations. Long after newspapers fade and stores disappear, coins remain behind as tiny metal records of history. That's why collectors continue searching through old change every day, because sometimes the smallest objects tell the biggest stories. And the 1988 UK 2-pence coin is one of those stories.